Hello and welcome back to Blackwatch Intel. My name is Crashy, and today I had an interesting thought. So it's the end of the season, Season 7's coming to a close, and the weirdest thing, I really don't understand it, it's the most awkward phenomenon of Overwatch, is that at the end of the season, especially when I'm playing solo queue, mostly only when I'm playing solo queue, it just feels like every game is super fragile, and you know what I'm talking about. Like, you go into a game at the end of the season, and everyone seems to be throwing. Like, they just simply don't care anymore. Now, those particular words are kind of funny because I genuinely feel like the severity and like the try-hardiness of ranked and competitive in Overwatch has gone down quite a bit. I don't feel like the game is in the best place in terms of development to promote the very hardcore competitive playstyle that we used to have and maybe we'll have in the future. That's another topic entirely. But in general, at the very end of the season, once that like 7 days left in the season queue, like that, you know, that text prompt kind of comes up, you hit a weird state where, you know, it just doesn't quite feel like anybody wants to win. Like, everybody wants the SR, everybody wants to play the game. You know, that's my thing. At the end of the season, I'm kind of like winding down about the SR grind, but I still want to play the game. Like, I just genuinely love the game, and I'm not going to sit here and waste my time on quick play. You know, come on, let's be honest. So, you know, we play the game, and people are throwing, and, you know, not necessarily like running in and killing themselves over and over and over again. There's different forms of throwing, and I think we've talked about that, or maybe we have to explore that future, you know, in the future. But people just are super fragile. They don't care. They want to win, but they're not trying. And I had an awkward thought because I really started thinking about it again. I've only ever quit out of a game, like intentionally, I think once. I was just super tilted, and you know what? I mean, the simple reality of the situation was I'm just a person. I'm no one perfect. I'm definitely no one perfect. Come watch my stream. You'll see what I mean. I'm no one perfect. I freak out. I tilt. And I'm pretty honest about that, but usually I don't ever give up and just throw the game. But that one day, I don't know, I was just at my breaking point, and as a human being, I was like, you know what? I can just get up and walk away from this. And so I did. I just, you know, like, quit out of the game. I closed down the you know, the game, and I walked away. I think I went and made some food, and I had a great time. But the weird thing is, and you know, quote me if I'm wrong, or, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, the penalty is like 50 SR for quitting and like a 15-minute penalty. And I started thinking about that. That's kind of ridiculous. That's kind of like what? Shouldn't it be something like ridiculous? We need at very least to kind of improve the experience across the board is to not give those people that option. I think, you know, while it's harsh and while people do disconnect and stuff, and that's always an issue, but at the same time, playing competitive and being there and being a strong teammate and being viable to your team is way more important than wanting to play the game with a poor connection. And at some point, you know, people have to be honest with themselves, and if you're disconnecting out of games, you're just as bad as the person that's quitting out of games, in my opinion. So here's what I was thinking. I think that the starting penalty for being a quitter needs to be higher. I don't think there's any way that I should have been allowed to, you know, quit out and then come back 15 minutes later with only a 50 SR hit. 50 SR is like, you know, 2 games, sure, but that doesn't hurt nearly as much as like 100 or 200 SR, and maybe a 30-minute penalty or a 4-hour penalty. You know, 4 hours, I can still play later, but guess what? If it's an evening time game, say I went to work a full day, I come home, if I ban myself for 4 hours because I quit out of a match, well, I'm probably not going to be playing that much on that account. And sure, people have smurfs and people will still quit. It's not a solution. Here's the thing about solutions and ideas. More often than not, there is no full-on solution. You know, you can have your own opinion, but there is no way to fix all the issues. Someone will find a way around it. Human nature is that what people are allowed to do is often what people will do. And so, in my opinion, I think the penalty needs to be much harsher. I think it needs to be a 1 to 4 hour ban if you quit out. I think it needs to be a 100 to 200 SR hit. I think it needs to be so dang frustrating that even when you're tilted, you have to make the big call. Like for me, like I said, as a human, do I say, wow, I'm really having a bad time with this. This is affecting me emotionally on a human level. I need to walk away from this. Because if I do, seriously, think about it. Because this is not an unviable option for a human being in a situation where they're super frustrated and just upset. If it's causing me harm, if I'm that frustrated, I will walk away from the situation. And I think that's best. Like, you know, obviously it sucks for the team and it's not a good behavior and it's something you shouldn't do in game. You know, it's definitely not a good thing. But at the same time, I should have to weigh the harsh decision and know the consequences are very harsh for a situation like that. I shouldn't get it easy. I shouldn't have the ability to You know what I mean? Just like, oh, it's just 15 minutes and 50 SR. Like, I'm gonna go make food. I'll be done being banned before I'm done eating. You know what I mean? Like, if I go to the restaurant down the road, I'll sit down and eat. I'll go grab fast food. I'll come back, sit down, eat, and it'll still have already been done. I just think it's a little ridiculous. That's kind of my thought for the day. I just simply want to continuously push Overwatch in a more competitive and very serious state. This game has a community that's hungry for a mode that suits them. And currently we're all stuck in this weird limbo where we're not being serviced, you know, players are acting inappropriately and doing crap that's just a waste of everybody's time because the game allows it. So all in all, I would love to know your thoughts. What is the penalty for quitting? In your game, your Overwatch, what's the penalty for quitting? To reiterate, mine is, hey, you know what? I'm going to be on the harsh side. I think if you want to quit out of a game, then you need to not play for a handful of hours. You need to be banned for 3 hours, 4 hours. You need to lose 100 SR and say, hey, you know what? If you want to make that decision, sure, go for it. And they can put a huge prompt on the screen. I don't care. Make those players understand the gravity of their action. If you want to ruin 11 people's game, then, you know, by God, you need to sit it out and you need to not play for a while and you need to take a huge SR hit. I think it's unacceptable that people are allowed to do this kind of action, this kind of throwing, and, you know, take such a slap on the wrist. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I appreciate you for checking out this video. I've been streaming a lot at twitch.tv/Crashy. I'm hoping to continue the schedule past my holiday schedule where I'm off of work. So definitely check that out. We're getting closer and closer. We're over 900 subs. Huge shout out to everybody. We have one of the best communities so far. I'm loving the interaction. And definitely check out our Discord, meeting new people, playing more games, playing stacked up, and just having a great time. So thanks for everything. You know, don't forget to leave a comment on this video. Please do not leave without leaving a like and subscribe for future content. I appreciate it again, and I'll see you on the next video.
Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earthquake? Do you feel the fire inside of me? Do you see the sparks that I'm setting free? Does the beat take you over? You just